Alright, imagine this. You walk into an Apple store this September ready to upgrade your iPhone, and suddenly the choices are weirdly simple. There's no regular iPhone staring back at you, no safe option, no middle ground, just three phones. The Pro, the Pro Max, and something completely different, the Ultra. And yeah, this one's not just another iPhone, this is Apple trying something bold. Now I know every year we hear rumors like it's delayed, it's not ready, it's too complicated. But from what's coming out lately, this thing actually looks pretty locked in. Like Apple's not messing around this time. So let's talk about the one thing everyone's obsessing over with a foldable, the crease. Because let's be honest, every foldable says almost invisible crease, and then you see it in person and it's like, yeah, no, but here? The numbers being thrown around are about 0.15 millimeters, which, okay, they haven't magically deleted physics, but that's seriously thin. Not invisible, but probably the closest we've seen yet to that glass just bending like paper illusion. And a lot of that comes down to the hinge. Apple's apparently going all in on this liquid metal hinge design. It's meant to be stronger, more durable, and most importantly, smoother in how the display folds. That's what helps reduce that crease look. And here's the interesting part. They're reportedly using 3D printed components to make it happen. Which sounds futuristic, but Apple's actually been quietly doing this already with parts and devices like their watches. So it's not new for them, just leveled up. Now cameras. Because you'd expect Apple to go crazy here, right? Well, not exactly. On the back, it's looking like a 48 megapixel main and a 48 megapixel ultra wide. And no telephoto, which sounds odd for an ultra phone. Until you realize, where would you even put a zoom lens in something this thin and folding in half? There is still a front camera on the outside when the phone's closed, so it behaves like a normal phone. But when you open it up, things get interesting. There are versions being tested where the inside camera is hidden under the display. So you don't see it at all. Again, not completely new tech, but Apple doing it usually means it's been refined to the point where it actually works properly. Now, performance-wise, this thing is basically stacked. We're talking 12 gigabytes of RAM, the new A20 Pro chip, and Apple's own C2 modem, which is a big deal because it's designed to be way more power efficient. And that ties directly into the battery. Because somehow, despite this thing being ridiculously thin, Apple might actually fit a battery around 5,800 mAh, which is massive for an iPhone. The trick here is that they're shrinking internal components like the display driver, freeing up space to just cram in more battery. It's basically like taking two iPhones, slicing them down, and merging them into one. Now, speaking of thin, this is where it gets kind of insane. Folded, you're looking at around 9.5 millimeters, so normal-ish. But unfolded, around 4.5 millimeters, that is ridiculously thin. Like thinner than phones that are already marketed as ultra-thin. But that thinness comes with a trade-off. No Face ID. Yeah, because the hardware needed for Face ID just takes up too much space. So instead, Apple's bringing back Touch ID built into the power button. Some people will actually love that. Personally though, Face ID is one of those features you don't think about until it's gone. It just works. You don't even notice it. And swapping that out definitely changes the feel of the phone. But here's where Apple flips the script. Because the real headline feature this year isn't the fold. It's not the thinness. It's not even the battery, it's what this phone enables. With that new in-house modem, Apple's pushing something they clearly see as the future of connectivity on their flagship devices. Something bigger than just faster 5G. They're leaning hard into satellite capabilities, which basically means your phone can stay connected. Even when there's no signal, no towers, no Wi-Fi, nothing. Now, Apple's been slowly building towards this for a while, but with the Ultra, this feels like the moment they go all in. And honestly, that might end up being the most important feature here. Because foldables are cool, thin phones are cool, but a phone that just works anywhere? That changes how you use it entirely. So yeah, the iPhone Ultra might look like Apple finally joining the foldable race. But in reality, It feels more like they're trying to redefine what a flagship phone even is. And if this actually lands the way it's shaping up, this could be one of the most interesting iPhones we've seen in years.